Welcome back everybody. Today we're gonna play Killjoy on Icebox. Today is day 138 of playing every agent on every map. Today's agent, Killjoy, is one of the best sentinels in the game. Killjoy has a lot of options to play map control and also to have like some microwave setups. Not really on a map like Icebox, but in general. And also her ult is one of the strongest ults in the game. It will cover most of the sites, especially on A and on B on Icebox, which is insanely strong. Most maps only have one really good Killjoy ult site, but Icebox has two of them. So that's why I recommend you actually play Killjoy if you want to play a sentinel on this map. Starting off with A-side defense. And before we actually start off with A-side defense, I want to tell you some basics about Killjoy. Killjoy, in my opinion, is an agent you play for map control. So just playing one side with a setup on that one side is not the best idea you can do. For that, I recommend almost every round that you put a turret in mid, so you have a lot of mid information over the people that are trying to go mid. This turret right here, either here, a little more over here, will get you information over people trying to walk through here, people trying to walk through the tube area, and people trying to walk through under. It can be smoked off, yes, but most of the times the enemies are gonna throw a Viper smoke or a Viper orb right here in mid, and then you can basically, as soon as the Viper orb goes down, have the information over anyone trying to go through here or through tube. Either way, with a turret in mid, you don't really have that many options on A to play from, so I'd recommend you either use your alarm bot right here, with some mollies right there and right there. And then you yourself are playing, for example, on this really strong off angle right here, holding the people in belt. Same thing also with this one, going all the way back here, holding the people in belt. Or even on the headshot angle right here, holding the people that are coming belt. Or on screens right here, just holding a passive off angle. Like that, you will have information over people coming through here. You will have information over people coming through the rope. And you will also have information over people coming through here. Like that, you have basically information over half of the map, which is insanely strong. Other than that, as soon as the enemies are coming in and your alarm bot gets triggered, you can pop off with the mollies and then you can go for a fight. Another setup you can do is a similar thing on this side right here, with mollies there and there. As soon as anyone walks in, you can pop these mollies and the enemies will have a hard time coming in. You yourself can then play towards backside, holding this off angle, or even playing up here, holding this off angle right there. And then as soon as they come in, you can pop your mollies. Another really cool thing you can do as a Killjoy is play up here. Hold the people that are, for example, coming from belt, or even through main, or just wait for them to come in. Other than that, there's not really much you can do on the A side. What you can do sometimes that is pretty strong is to just wait for a retake on A side, and then you use a ult like this. Like this, you will get all of the side, except for this little part here in main, almost all of main, and it will make it insanely hard for the enemies to play in main. With a ult like this, you can then also use mollies like these, that will land in the corner back there, and then you can pop them, and the enemies that are playing close here are gonna take a lot of damage. This will also make it pretty easy for you to get a diffuse in. What you kind of have to worry about is enemies pushing right here, so always hold the enemies before you are going for that molly. Other than that, yeah, there's not really much you can do on A. Just don't really play the A side. Most of the times playing mid or B is better. Now switching over towards mid, if you want to play full mid control, you can use your turret again up here. And then you yourself go in the beginning of the round right here to under and place your alarm bot right there. Like this, you will have information over people coming under tube, over people coming through mid, and even over people coming through tube. And it is in general a pretty strong setup you can use without really having to worry about mid. Then you can go help your teammates on A, teammates on B, fight, and your setup will hold mid for your team. The alarm bot in under is a pretty important one, because if there is a smoke right here from the Viper or a smoke right here, the enemies will be able to walk through without the turret spotting them, and then as soon as they come out here, your alarm bot will spot them and you will have an easy time getting the kill on them. Other than that, your mollies are best used on B itself to use them as plant denial. As soon as somebody is going for a plant, you can use one molly right there, or you can even use mollies close here. The enemies are going for a plant, you pop the molly, you wait for them to go for another plant, or use some util, you pop the second molly to stop them from planting. Other than that, also just spraying towards B as soon as they're trying to go for a plant is pretty strong. And now talking about B, again I would recommend that you have your turret in mid, but you can also use your turret as B information. With a turret right here, you will have information over all of B, and then you can use your alarm bot still in mid, and you can kind of play a little back on B. You will not have information over people that are coming through the main area and to mid towards A, but you will have information over people trying to split B. With a turret like this, as soon as your turret gets destroyed, you can either decide to go for a peek, so you can hide close here, your turret gets destroyed, you peek out, and you do a lot of damage to them. Or you can just kind of wait, tell your team, yeah, they are somewhere towards B, and then you can just play a little more back. Again, what you can also do if you want to use your alarm bot here close, you can use one alarm bot right here, and then use mollies close here and close here. Make it pretty hard for the enemies to play here. Or another setup you can also do is one right here, with a molly here and a molly here. As soon as the enemies are coming in, triggering the alarm bot, you can pop off mollies and make it pretty hard for the enemies to play behind yellow. Other than that, also holding this angle from back here is pretty strong, because then you can like kind of peek out and get a peek on the enemies if they are trying to go towards this area. And then for a Killjoy ult, Killjoy ults are pretty strong on a retake on B as well. So if you go right here, you will have a ult that will cover almost all of B main. And the only thing you kind of have to worry about is firstly getting here without the enemies really being able to spot you. So take the space right here, check the close area, check the top side, and also make sure that nobody's flanking you from it. And then you can use a ult like that. With a ult like that, you can go easily for a defuse unless they have like a million mollies they can throw on, but most of the times you will be able to get that defuse off while the enemies are trying to go for a fight. It is really likely that if you use a ult like this, that the enemies are going to push, because they have to go so far back, it isn't really worth it for them to like not fight the ult. They're just gonna try to play it aggressive, so always be aware of that and hold the enemies from coming in. Switching over towards attack, and on attack, what you can do as a Killjoy is to kind of play mid control with either a turret playing here, having information over anyone peeking in mid, or even having a turret that is a little farther behind, for example right here, to kind of watch flank, or even a turret if you are going towards B that is watching flank from this box right here. Like this, you will have information over the people coming flank, and most of the times you will have an easier time to like defend or attack the side, and then also hold the people from coming in to a post plan. Other than that, something I actually really like doing is to place my turret towards B like this, if my teammates are going A, and then using a alarm bot in the mid smoke right here. Like that, I will have information over people rotating through mid, and I will also have information over people that are trying to come from B. So I have a lot of control in mid, and then I can easily go for a lurk, even wait for a pretty long amount of time. If somebody walks into my alarm bot, it is pretty nice. And other than that, I can just go for a break on the enemy Killjoy turret if they have one, or just the enemy sentinel util, so they have no mid control. Other than that, also going with my team is not too bad of an idea. Other than that, also going with my team, if they are going towards A, is not too bad of an idea. Just use a turret right there and then go in with your team. Other than that, something that is also pretty strong is the Killjoy ult on A. You can use a Killjoy ult from this corner right here if you go all the way up. It will cover almost all of site. Other than that, if you want to play post plant, you can just throw your mollies on top of the spike. Use a alarm bot either towards screens right here or on the site itself. And like that, you will have pretty nice map information. Other than that, I also recommend that you're not going out of the range of your flank turret, because your flank turret, if the enemies are like coming up mid and then they're like really close, they hear your turret go off because you're going in front, they might just run around and then get a timing on your turret, which is pretty strong for them and pretty bad for your team, because then you can get flanked without your team knowing it. Other than that, again, just playing post plant on Killjoy is pretty good, holding the enemies from coming in. Also, another really strong angle most people don't really expect is this one right here. Same thing also with rafters. You can hold people from coming out right here, and the enemies will have a hard time trying to fight you. And now switching over towards B, I've already shown you this turret right here. This turret is a pretty strong one. It will hold all of your flank, but you will also not be able to walk too far away. So you can use another turret, either one like this, that is more towards site. It will still cover your flank. It will not give you as early flank information, but it will still give you flank information. And the other option for a turret is one all the way here. It will see anyone coming from mid, and you will also be able to go almost up to yellow without your turret getting off. Other than that, just taking the site. If you know somebody's in these two close corners right there, or in this one close here, you can just use mollies. Same thing also with if you know somebody is back yellow, to kind of stop them from peeking out. It makes it pretty hard for the enemies to get an early peek on you. And in general, using your alarm bot right here on the spike is pretty strong. Also getting it maybe even a little deeper in, or even going for a mid lurk late to kind of play your mollies from mid. So you're walking through mid, you have an alarm, you have a turret for your flank, and you can walk all the way up here, get a timing on the enemies, try to fight them. If they're going for a defuse, you can just throw your mollies like this. Your mollies are mainly a post-plant util, and in my opinion, you can also use them to kind of destroy the sentinel util, but for that you need a lot of lineups. In pro play, that is pretty common, that a Killjoy that is playing on attack is going to destroy the Killjoy util that is placed on defense. So either the turret here on boiler, maybe even the alarm but here on undertube. That is a thing you can destroy with your Killjoy mollies, or you can just go for a fight in them and destroy them like that. But then you need to kind of worry about the enemies trying to peek. For a Killjoy ult on B, you can use one from all the way in front of here. It will cover all of the side, and it will also cover a big part in towards mid and tube, and it will make it pretty hard for enemies to play on the side itself and go for a fight. And then as soon as your Killjoy ult pops, you can ask your Viper to put the wall up, and then you can go for a plant. What is also pretty strong if you are trying to go for a plant is to throw mollies into the upper area and also towards the snowman area, or even close under if you think the enemies are going to peek you from these areas. Like that, your planter will have an easier time going for a plant, and in general it makes it pretty easy for you to win the round. But then you will not have your mollies to play post plant with. You can also play post plant, by the way, with your ult. For example, you go for a plant and then you get your ult. It will save your team a lot of time, and it will make it really hard for the enemies to go for a defuse afterwards. If I had to give Killjoy a rating from S to F, I'd actually give her the S tier. I think Killjoy is the best sentinel to play on this map because a Killjoy has a lot of passive map information. Also the ability to hold mid with just a single Killjoy turret, even maybe with a alarm bot, is pretty strong. And also her mollies being able to be really well used on a post plant is also pretty good. Other than that, if you have the right lineups, you can even break the sentinel util, but that is something I think that is reserved for pro play or premier. That would be it for me. If you want to see any other agent on any other map, write it down in the comments, and if you want to see anything else Valorant related, write it there as well. And as always, don't forget to like and sub, and come say hi to me on Twitch where I stream almost daily. Have a great rest of your day, and see you guys very soon. Bye!